Alright, so welcome back, YouTube. So today I want to install a Z-Wave shut-off switch for my outdoor sprinkler systems. I've looked at these for a while, and I think this is the first one that was actually somewhat affordable. It was on Amazon. Got it for, I think, $89. You got to have a ball valve, and this is Z-Wave. You do have to have a system for it to hook up to. I have ADT Pulse, so all the Z-Wave works. At least I've not found anything Z-Wave that has not worked yet on my system. So SmartThings hub, stuff like that should be fine. And basically you put your ball valve on, and then you put this on, and then that lever will shut the valve on and off to turn off your water. It's got a low voltage plug here. Comes with 2 clamps and your electrical plug. So the ball valve, I like SharkBite. I use everything SharkBite. I've got a shut off there. That's the main that comes in. The main is under there, under the stairs, and it is ridiculous to get to. You have to take everything out of the closet, crawl in the hole under there, go over. So as long as I don't have a break between this shut off and the main shut off, if something is, you know, plumbing in the bathroom or something, I'm able to just run down here and shut that off. But if this system works good, then I will get a second one and put it on the main of the house. These will work up to, I think it said 1.5 inches. But when I was at the hardware store looking at these, I found these in a 5/8 and a 3/4 inch, and the lever handle was the same width. So this is adjustable. So if you take these screws, loosen them, you can see the way it's made. This will open up so that you can fit a wider lever in there if you have a bigger handle on your valve. So this is SharkBite on the top, but it's a regular thread on the bottom. And I think that that's pretty important, because with the SharkBites, if you guys use them, you know what I'm talking about. These will turn. I mean, that's the way that system works. Is it pushes on this to shut it off, then it pushes back to turn it on. This may twist and cause it to get kinked up, jammed up, or something. I want to make sure that doesn't happen. So when I attach this, I want this to be, let's see, it'll go, we'll have the shut off valve, and then we'll have our Z-Wave device. We'll have the rest of our plumbing. This will screw in there. That way this can attach to the hard pipe. I'm just going to leave this one here, and then it'll attach to this hard piece, so that when it goes to operate and shut off, I don't have to worry about that ball valve spinning on here. That it should be hard plumbed in, so that when this is hard plumbed in, it doesn't spin it, that it'll allow it to actually turn the lever and shut it off. So you want this pivot point on here to try to be in the center there. If you pull down on this ring, try to do this with one hand, it will allow this to move. You can't just grab this and move it. You actually have to pull down on this, then it will freely move. So I don't know if the kids would ever know that, so if I ever need this turned off, you just hit the button on the top and it'll actually open and close it, but for somebody who may not know that, it could cause an issue. Man, this is difficult one-handed. Okay. So once it's on, you hit that power button one time and it'll shut it off. Hit it again, it'll open it. I don't have a sophisticated sprinkler system at all. I'll show you what I do have. I have these in the yard, and I'll take you out and show you. These I get from Myers. To me, these are the best kind. They're not some big monstrosity. They don't have the pitter sound when they're on. All you hear is the water spraying, and you can adjust it by pushing this out. It gives it a shorter range. Pull that back, gives it a longer range where it shoots out. You can adjust these for how far it goes as far as which way, but I'll show you what I have. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 of these. This one you can see it's all tore up, but it still works. They take weed eaters pretty good. And this will go all around and cover this side. Then the second one will come over and cover it. They're hooked on a timer. This is the one for the front for the soaker hose. Comes on for like a minute and just soaks it down under here, under the landscaping. So this one is a 3. It's got 3 on it. Next start is in 4 hours. I run mine 15 minutes in the morning on each cycle and 15 minutes in the afternoon on each cycle. So from time to time when I'm at work or something, if it rains, then I'm not here to shut the water off, and it just, you know, the sprinklers come on and it's already rained for 2 hours. I'm wasting water, wasting money. These are just hooked up on hoses. And they just run right around and out. There's a sprinkler behind here. This is because I don't have sprinklers set up yet, and this kind of gets start like dying a little bit, so I need to get some water on that pretty regularly. And then the other ones will come around. There's a hose there, and that runs all the way to the end and runs that sprinkler right there. And then there's one there that covers all this area pretty good. And then this one here on the corner covers all this lawn and the side. So I just wanted something where I can hit the button and shut that water off so that I'm not wasting a lot of water. And there is I think there's a secondary piece that you can get in conjunction with this if you have a type of setup where you want it to be able to detect water and turn off your main, like maybe under a kitchen sink, your main, if it leaks. I'm trying to think where I would place one. I think you can hook them up anywhere. So if you got a leak in the refrigerator, shut your main off. They talk to each other. It's like a little white piece that kind of hangs down on the ground, and then if water touches it, it sends a signal, sends you a text message, and triggers this to shut your water off. So when I came down to take a look at installing it, what parts I was going to need, whether I needed a shark bite on each end or a fixed piece or whatever, I ran into a leak right there, leaking out of that T. So I got me a shark bite T. We'll fix that while we're down here. It's amazing when you go to do something, you find something else broke or something else needing attention. So, oh, this piece, this is just capped. This is because when those timers shut off, they just turn. I mean, they don't slowly turn. This turns slow. It'll move slow enough that it would slow the water flow down to stop it. But those timers, those things roll over and stop, and it used to jump the pipes. It would jolt. You could hear it thump. You could feel it on the floor. This took that away so that it allows that water to bounce in there as opposed to making the rest of the pumps jump with the pressure. So we'll get started. We got the water draining. First thing I'm going to fix is this leak that I found. I can capture here. I will cut here. Bite. Put that on here. Shark bite on here. Shark bite on there. So that leak should be taken care of. We'll find out when we turn the water back on, that's for sure. Alright, so now I'm going to start trying to pair up exactly where I want this to go. I need some Teflon tape. And you want to put this on in a way so that you're not going to have to come back later and readjust it or cut the plumbing and move it to make sure that the handle's in the right position and this is on tight enough. Let me grab a couple of wrenches. Okay, that should do it. So we got the ball valve on a more permanent mount. It will shut off this way. I want it up here high enough so that the laundry doesn't get caught up in this mechanism. So it's up out of the way. So this I want to clamp onto the hard pipe, and then the ball valve I want this nut with that nut right there at the pivot point. You don't want it up here. You don't want it too far down. You want to try to get this pivot point lined up so that when it turns, this isn't overstressing itself. And it looks like, if you can see this, it looks like this part of the clamp might sit on top of this. So once I determine where I need this at, make sure I don't hit the curtain. Yeah, it's plenty of room. So now I have both hands free. If you pull this pin out, this will move freely. When the pin's in there, it'll lock in. And if it's powered up, you don't want to just grab this and pull it. So somebody will have to know to pull this and turn it off if they need to. If there's a power outage, you need to shut off water or something. So I think it'll be good to cut that way up there. This will. Too bad. Okay. So I don't have I got a little bit of slack there, but not a tremendous amount of slack. So I think I want to put the fixed section on first, then I'll make my cut. So we'll get our towel put out here. Definitely not going to be able to do that one-handed, but I'll explain to you what I'm doing. I'm taking my cleaning. I'm going to clean the pipe. Clean the inside and take my glue. Take our glue. Put some glue in there. And then put this on. Just like that. And I'll move it this way just a tad bit so that if for some reason it's not tight enough and I can crank it tight a little bit more, it won't throw that off too far. So with that seated on there right, I should be okay to cut the top half for the shark bite part. And that shark bite is probably going to come down pretty good distance in there. Has some flexibility to it. If in doubt, always cut it a little bit long. cut it long and it's too long, it's not a big deal to cut a little more off. If you cut it short, then you got a problem. Now I'll lift this up. Plug it in. Okay. Oh yeah, that one I need even more. Okay. Alright, so now they got the shark bites attached, I'll go ahead and shut this off. Give this time to set up real good. If you're doing hot plumbing or hot water plumbing, you want to give that maybe an hour, hour and a half to set up real good, because if you get hot water traveling through it, I've had them pop off before an hour after I'd done it and water go blasting everywhere, so I let them set overnight. But the way this one's installed, wanted the shark bite on that top half so I can shut it off and stop that water from coming through, and then turn the main back on so the rest of the house isn't out of power. So you need to go close up a couple of faucets and I'll get the water turned back on. When you turn your water on, you want to ease it on. You don't want to, hold on a second. Alright, you want to just a little bit, let it start moving. Start looking immediately for leaks. Turn it on a little more. Check the leak up there. Now we're on all the way. Don't feel any leaks in there. Okay. So we'll run some water and get the air out of the lines. Okay. So that leak that was on that T was coming upstairs. It went out back and it came upstairs to the kitchen sink on the hot side. Alright, should be good to go. Go back and check for any leaks. Nothing feels wet. It's hot, so there's water moving through it. No leak. So I'm going to let this set up for probably an hour, and then we'll put our Z-Wave switch on. Alright folks, so we're back, and we got one clamp on here, and it looks like it's going to be right on that coupler. So I'm gonna have to get creative somehow and fill this space under here and then put that second clamp on, but it moves really freely. If I can sit you guys over here. Alright, so I'll pull the pin in the back, and that moves real easy. So it's lined where it needs to go. Get signed in here. Okay, so now we're in pulse. I was able to plug that in and just move that wire right underneath. We will go to System, Manage Devices. I'll go ahead and plug this in. Alright, so it's plugged in. Blue light's flashing. I will go to Add. Continue. Push the button. So I got an error that says this device already exists to the system. So let me hit go back. And I am not seeing it on the system. It would be considered a switch. And I'm not seeing a new switch on here. So let me hit close, close. Let me look through my devices. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Manage devices. The blue light is still flashing up there, so. Let me go to Add. Continue. It says it's entering Z-Wave mode. Press and release the Z-Wave device. Alright guys, so 40 minutes later. Yes, not an exaggeration. It took me 40 minutes to get this thing programmed to my Pulse Z-Wave. So you can probably hear the water running through it now. We got sprinklers running. So we got it mounted up. You got sprinklers on. Just turned them off. Sprinklers on. Turned them on. And that's it. So you see I got an Allen wrench in here. So as I said earlier, I had a problem with this fitting that was on there where this one was smaller, that one was bigger, so I had to stick something in here so that this would bite deep enough into there, tilt it in. I suppose if you needed to bend this arm a little bit, you could do that, but make sure it lines up. You can also hit this. And it will electronically shut it off. The light's lit blue solid, that means it's off. And if the light is not lit at all, that means it is on. So now if it's raining heavy and I'm at work, I don't have to waste money anymore. I can use my phone and shut my sprinklers off. You can also program this thing. You know, like with anything else, you can program it if you set your alarm to away. It'll automatically shut it off. You can say between the hours of whatever and whatever it'll shut off. So if you have a spigot outdoor that you leave on all the time, this can work as your timer to actually water it how many ever times a day you want it to be, and you can set that up in your Z-Wave. At least with the ADT Pulse Z-Wave, it was extremely difficult. What I had to do was take this closer to the hub, and then I had to hit it 3 times real fast, and then it turned it off 3 times back, and then boom, it took me 40 minutes literally. There was no instructions that came with it, so I had to look it up online and research it, but we got it running now, and I'm really happy. So link in the description of where I got this. And I will probably get one of these to put on the main, so that if I ever need to shut the main off, I don't need to crawl under that mess and dig in there. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.